All right, so the Blue Jackets, since that first intermission, remember they were down 3-0, looked like the Lightning going to steamroll them. Everything is done. Blue Jackets going to roll over. They've outscored Tampa 12-2. I could ask you how. I could ask you why. We could talk about Bob. We'll talk about Duchesne. I want to go back to Matt Duchesne with the reporter before earlier portion of that soundbite there. Do you believe that nobody in that organization has spoken about their 2-0 lead last year against the Caps that they relinquished?
For sure they did. I think he's lying. No, it definitely crossed their minds, and I'm sure, maybe they didn't address it as a team, but I'm sure they talked about it, the guys that were there last year. But they did get a few different guys, some new blood at the deadline, so it's a new year, it's a clean slate, and they definitely didn't play like they were going to lose that game. They dominated right from the get-go. A huge effort by Bobrovsky there, and just excited to see Columbus rocking.
It was certainly that elephant in the room because you had to, like Scotty said, you know what happened in the past, and you don't want history to repeat itself. And for Matt Duchesne, perhaps not knowing exactly what happened because he wasn't in the dressing room, but we all remember when they hit the post in overtime in Game 3 to go up 3-0 against Washington and not be able to seal that deal. Probably the fate of that series, of that playoff round would have been different. So maybe we don't see Washington winning. They realized the importance of tonight's game, and I thought that their best player, their all-star and MVP all season was Bobrovsky, and in the third period he showed why. I mean, he was big, he was standing on top. Tampa was buzzing. Tampa had chances to get back in this game, and Bobrovsky showed why he's the two-time, Vezina Trophy winner. He was big. Artsy played with him. He knows he moves extremely well side to side, and you saw that the replay that we showed there, how much he fought to stay and have a view of the puck at all time. He was he's big tonight, and the team played well in front of him.
He's just so good side to side. He's so good at catching pucks, and you think he might have him, and next thing you know is he's still following that puck across the crease. There was a play in the third period there. I thought the guy was going to go around and wrap it in, but he was right there the whole way. Even tripped him, I think, a little bit. But, Bob is the key for this team to go far in the playoffs, and right now he is definitely on his game. And I came in with Bob, or Bob came in to Philadelphia, and he didn't know one word of English. And to hear him talk like that, it's pretty amazing just how he's getting the crowd going. The crowd loves him there. Huh? I know, it's wild. Even though he might not be there in a few months, the crowd is really behind him right now.
Oh, don't start bringing that up during now. Don't bring up the offseason.
But guys, what I really like is what Duchesne spoke about, what Bobrovsky spoke about. I think that they learned from last year. They were up 2-0. Maybe you get a little complacent. Maybe, you lose Game 3 and it doesn't affect you all that much tonight. They wanted that game. And they know that even at 3-0 now, they have to go out and get it because Tampa, they've proven all season that they can rack up wins. They can go 4 in a row. They can slowly but surely get back in this series. If they just win the next game, all of a sudden you're down 3-1, you go back home, you win the next one at home. It's doable for a team that has won and has been so successful throughout the regular season.
Yeah, Columbus better have the pedal down in Game 4, especially early. Just give them no hope. Hopefully they can close it out in Game 4.
Let's double back to Matt Duchesne, a guy that you were talking about coming into this organization and kind of changing things. How has he been a catalyst to them?
Well, catalyst, it took him a little time. When he got to the Columbus Blue Jackets, it took some time to get some chemistry. But for a guy that's played 727 NHL game in the regular season, this is only his 11th playoff appearance. This is the only 11 times that he's played in the playoffs. So he's excited. He's anxious to get in there. He wanted to be in a situation. He left Colorado because he wanted to get some more playoff action. Got to Ottawa. It wasn't going to be the case for him. And then when they got to Columbus, there was a time where he didn't know if he was going to be in the playoff or not. So I think that is tremendous excitement for Matt Duchesne. And the numbers right now for him in this series are just outstanding.
Yeah, he's going to be a big factor if they go far or not. And tonight he showed up. He had a big goal. I know the guys there, they really look up to him around the dressing room coming in. So like you said, he's not going to come in and they're going to score 2 or 3 goals a night. There's some ups and downs that last 15, 20 games of the season, but they're playing their best hockey right now, and it's really exciting.
So there's mental, there's physical. There's a lot of aspects to all professional sports. How much of Tampa being down 0-3 right now is mental?
It's a good question because, I mean, you'd like to, if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning, you'd like to duplicate or replicate what you did in the third period because, mentally, I don't think that they were at that point in the first game of the series. After they went up 3-0 in the first period, I think we saw a big letdown in the second period where they allowed the Columbus Blue Jackets. Let's not forget that at 3-0, you and I were both sitting here watching, and even you, Keith, and we thought the game was over. Yeah. How can this team that has been so successful in the season go up 3-0 and give away a game basically the way they did in the first game? So I'm a little surprised mentally if you're the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think right now you just got to forget everything that's happened. Put your best foot forward. Your best player, the MVP of the NHL, probably going to get back in the lineup. Maybe a Norris caliber defenseman. Hopefully he gets more healthy. Edmund gets back in the lineup. If those two get back in, you've got all the elements in place to win some games.
Like the same thing with Pittsburgh, right? You said they got to change something. They got to take care of their own end. Columbus is not going to let them go run and gun like they did the whole regular season, right? So they're going to have to maybe change their game a little bit, maybe take care of their own end, and when they get those chances, they go full bore and get after it. So a little bit of adjustment time, I think, here for Tampa Bay. Obviously, it's not working what's they've been doing, so time to look at some tape and maybe change things up.